often we operate in life from that kind of nice guy paradigm of being indirect, not really showing what we want, not showing our intent, and that's where we run into the most problems.
For sure.
Women love that masculine directness, right?
And even if they don't technically respond how you want them to, by maybe giving you their number or going on a date, they still respect it. And you still feel like a man by doing it. You don't feel like a puss.
You feel, when we feel most puss-like, in my experience, is when we're being very indirect, being not expressing what we want or our needs or our desires, and just being masculine energy is very, for want of a better phrase, very direct, very penetrating, right? It's just being brutally honest with yourself and with life.
Yeah.
And nice guys, and we've all come from that position, what we try and do is we try and skirt round what we need to do and kind of like, indirectly catch women into bed. You've got to own your intent and your desire. If you find a woman attractive, the most authentic and attractive thing you can do in terms of energy projection is basically showing that you see her as a sexual object, right? Mm-hmm. So you don't need to verbally tell her, I want to fuck you, but your vibe is, I think you're attractive and I'm not afraid to tell you. Because again, it's
convey that to the girl by using eye contact. Right?
Exactly, that's what I mean. So but through your vibe and through your energy, not be afraid to tell her that you're a sexual being and that you find her attractive. And that, for a woman, that's incredibly flattering, right? They want to be seen by guys they like as sexual beings, right?
The thing is, if you own that as well, it comes across as quite strong and quite powerful, and they really respond well to that. I mean, I'm sure you've had this happen if you've approached a girl. You go up and you ask her for directions, or you do something, you tell her she's got a cute dog, and you walk away feeling like you've lied not only to her, but also to yourself. And she knows exactly what you wanted as well, and you feel, like we've said before, like a little bit of a puss. It's much better to put your balls on the line, your metaphorical balls on the line, risk the chance of actually being rejected, but at least you've gone for it. She knows that you've gone for it, and even if she didn't give you the response, she still respects you for it, right?
Vulnerability is very attractive, right? And it's not about being a victim. I think guys get confused. Vulnerability is not being a victim and telling the world all your woe me problems. It's about showcasing what you want and not being afraid of the outcome. So the Buddhist principle of complete unattachment to the outcome, but just making your life easier by being honest. So if you can project sexual intent, you're comfortable projecting sexual intent and bringing that sexual energy. That's what women really respond to. And we've got there's a mutual coach we know, Mr. B in Norway. He's really not, he won't mind us saying this, but he's hardly setting the world alight with banter. No. He's not the most talkative guy, but what he does have is a very strong masculine presence, and he's very authentic with his energy. He projects a very direct sexual energy to the women, and through his eye contact and the way he looks at them, and he's not afraid to be rejected. And he gets a lot of women because women respond on a visceral level to that, and there's no fakery. Right. Something that I did, because I came from that nice guy position, as most guys do, and I was afraid of really projecting that sexual intent. Something I did was almost gamify it. So I was like, going on dates where I know there's going to be that crackle of sexual tension, I'm going to enjoy the discomfort. I'm going to revel in the discomfort and be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. And actually, I'm never going to look away first, right? If we lock eyes with the girl, I'm not going to kind of cast my eyes down. I'm just going to balls it out. And it's like anything, like any skill set, confidence is just situational competence. So when you actively, consciously do that 100 times, it's not a big deal for you. But if you're trying to avoid it and play it nice and you're not consciously aware of it, then it feels very almost overpowering, right? But one of the ways around this is just proximity. So naturally, if you're in a conversation with a girl, you've given her a compliment, you're standing there, and you can see it from this, there was proximity there. There was naturally sexual tension just crackling in the air with us.
For sure.
So that was one thing. And the other thing is actually just trying to bring the sexual energy. And the fastest trick in the book to doing this, in my opinion, because a lot of guys come from that wanting to hide their sexual intent. They think it's wrong to be seeing the girl as a sexual being. It's not. It's absolutely okay. It's visceral. We are men. She is a girl. It's okay to want to reproduce. And it's okay to see her as a sexual being. But one of the ways around it is picturing her naked, right? And again, it's going to feel weird for you to do that to begin. But actually, the more you do that, the more comfortable you're going to be doing it. And then naturally, if you're picturing her naked and you're thinking about, potentially having sex with her, and really on a visceral level communicating that is incredibly, women feel that energy. Women just mirror your energy, right? So if you're trying to be indirect and you're trying to hide your sexual intent, she's like, this feels weird, what's going on?
She'll also feel a lot more comfortable to convey her level of sexual intent, if you're more comfortable with being comfortable in that tension as well, you'll find that girls are just much more, they'll open up to you more. And one of the ways to do this is via the eye contact that we always speak about, right? Eyes are the windows to the soul. They really tell you a lot about what a person is feeling.
Right.
So if you maintain that eye contact, then it really sparks, like you were saying, it sparks that feeling of tension. And one trick that you can use that we always forget to use is try and focus on the girl's eye color, right? Because a lot of the time when we go into a conversation, we're so in our heads about what we think we're gonna say, what we need to say. Is she reacting well? Is she not reacting well? What's the next line? Am I gonna ask her for a number? Am I gonna take her on a date?
Right.
And all of these things are playing in our mind that we get so far in our head that we forget to actually just focus on the most
basic
things,
stuff.
the non-verbal communication, right?
Being fully present as well. If
fully
you're
present.
really present in the moment with the girl, there's actually nothing to fear. It's when we're trying to calculate in advance, like all these moves ahead. That's when we fuck up and we get nervous because we're not in the moment, and then we realise we're not in the moment. She knows you're not in the moment, and your energy's off because you're not in the moment. When you're truly present with someone, there's actually no fear. Directly, like really being in the moment, right?
Because you're not trying to think ahead.
You're not thinking about the past, and you're not worrying about the future. You're just fully present, and that's the way you can also sense her energy. And one of the hallmarks of charisma as well, they always talk about Bill Clinton with his saxophone. One of the
His sexual saxophone.
He used to play the saxophone.
Oh, he actually did.
But he's a sex addict, so I think the joke was calling it Clinton and his saxophone. One of the hallmarks of him, you know, for people that met him, is they'd say they were in a room with him, right? It's like 500 people in the room, he's the fucking president. But when he says hello to you and when he's in the moment with you, they feel just true presence. It's like this bubble around you. And it's like, no, he's really there. And we've got a friend in common who spent some time on Richard Branson's island, and he said the same thing about Richard Branson. So incredibly present. When you're with him, there's no one else.
And one way that he probably did that was just very good eye contact.
Very good eye contact.
Being comfortable with sitting in that, just being with that person, actually looking at that person, you know?
Yeah.
There's an interesting, for the movie, in the movie Avatar, we're going a little bit off topic here, but I thought this was quite cool, where their greeting that they use is actually, I see you. So it's not hello, what's up, what's up,
I
what's
see
up.
you.
Yeah, it's like their greeting is like, I see you, which I think is quite interesting. We're going off a bit off topic here, but
No surprises
presence is so rare nowadays. When you're with someone and they're there with you and they're really looking you in the eye and all of their presence is with you, it also creates a massive impact on them because a lot of your energy is focused onto them rather than your energy being drawn into your mind about what to say next, what you're thinking about, what you need to do tomorrow. Is this going to go well? Is it not going to go well? And if you can really be that person that creates that strong energy when you're with a girl, really making eye contact, like we said before, focusing on her eye color, and even going so far as to try and see her pupils dilating, you will really, really make an impact on her like no one else. So these are the few things to summarize what you were saying, which is don't be scared to convey your sexual intent. Don't be scared to make it known to her that you find her sexually attractive. That can be done by obviously verbalizing it. Hey, I wanted to come say hello. I thought you looked really nice. And then when you're actually speaking to her, thinking about actually having sex with her, thinking about having sex with her naked. And
I think that's one of the biggest things, man. I think, again, like guys might, even that thought of that for a lot of guys that we teach, because they're so used to not being sexual and hiding their sexual intent.
Right?
It's the sexual shame piece we talk about, and we all carry it in some degree. Every single guy I've ever worked with, you know, myself included, we all carry it to some degree. It can be just societal upbringing, it can be some traumatic thing, it can be something minor, but it's, not seeing yourself truly comfortable, seeing yourself as a fully sexual being, can be linked in with feelings of low self-esteem, but also then it's the mirror effect, right? Everything is a mirror. So if you have issues with yourself as a sexual being, then you have issues with women as sexual being. If you have issues with self-compassion, you have issues with externalized compassion. If you have issues with self-judgment, you have issues with externalized judgment. Everything acts a mirror to the self and the other. So I'd highly encourage you guys, if you do feel you have issues with sex and sexual self-esteem and shame, get in touch, and we'll put you in touch with the sex coach we refer guys to. He's very, very good. He really works with a lot of guys on this. But also, one of the key tricks is actually you can start to overcome it. It's actually just picturing girls naked and seeing them as viable, actual sexual beings, right? Sexual prospects, and getting comfortable with that. And it's going to feel very uncomfortable at the beginning. But I promise you, if you do that, if you're with a girl and you're picturing her naked 100, 200 times, you're thinking about fucking her, you're thinking about doing stuff with her, that will come across. You'll get better and better. And if you actually did that 100 times with 100 different women, in conversations, suddenly you're going to be projecting a sexual vibe because you've got comfortable with it. This really is all about your own hero's journey with what you're comfortable with and what you're not comfortable with, isn't it? That's all it comes down to, because women just act as the mirror, right? It has nothing to do with them. It's all about us.
I think a large part of that actually is understanding that women are sexual creatures and not holding it against them either.
And that's also a sexual shame thing. It's like societal, programming telling us our sex is bad. Women, aren't sexual beings. They don't like to be fucked. Or all these Madonna whore things we've got dressed up about. Oh, she's a good girl. She doesn't like sex. Like, and she's a bad girl. She's got tattoos. She loves getting fucked. It's like, no, most women with healthy self-esteem like sex. It's the most natural thing you can do. You're born, you reproduce, you die. But there's so much stigma around sex and shame around sex with everyone. It's an area we all need to work on.
It's probably one of the biggest areas.
It's probably the biggest area, because if you're truly comfortable with your own sexuality and seeing women as sexual beings, there's no issue. It's like you're going to walk up to people and just not be a retard, not verbally say, I want to fuck you now, like not mode one.
Well, they can feel it, right? Women are 10 times more perceptive when it comes to feeling what you're thinking about, right? So if you're thinking about actually being sexual with a girl, like you say, in a well-calibrated way, not being overtly sexual, making her feel uncomfortable, naturally your body language is going to follow, right?
You're going to be open, you're going to be playful, you're not going to give a shit about the outcome. You're going to be able to escalate freely, you're not going to care about the outcome.
100%.
And women are just like, conversely, if you're very open like that, they're absolutely going to want to have sex with you. Whereas if you're closed and you're feeling a bit like, she's going to feel that and she's going to shut down.
But what you feel, they feel, right? If you feel comfortable, they'll feel comfortable. If you feel turned on, they'll feel turned on. So
it's about listing out all this stuff, really, isn't it? As a cheat sheet guide, it's like list out all this stuff you're not comfortable with when it comes to interacting with the opposite sex. Like all these different scenarios, whether it's in bed or just the initial approach or whatever. List them all out, be honest with yourself. And then start working on them. Desensitization through repetition. And obviously if you want to speed up that process, come to people like us who can throw you in and give you lots of feedback. And get in touch, and we'll put you in touch with a sex coach as well who can really help you. And you can 10x that process in terms of speed.
Let's go over a quick cheat sheet of what we recommend. So the first thing is having the mindset of actually having sex with that girl, picturing her naked.
It has to be done from position. It has to be done from a position of wanting to get laid, not for validation. And one of the guys that I originally kind of learned a lot from, I never met him, but in terms of his material, was a guy called Good Looking Loser. And he said there's a great article he wrote, which is get laid or get lost. And it was just this idea of like, you want to get laid, right? You're not doing this for validation. I think a lot of guys, we start off doing day game in nice guy mode because we just want female attention. We haven't had it. So we get obsessed with this idea of validation, teasing them and bantering away, but we forget we forget the fact women actually want to meet guys and they want to have sex as well. And we try and kind of, we go almost too far into the bantery route and go too indirect. And it's that balance between being a sexual threat and also not taking it too seriously. It's a very nuanced balance, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the only way to get better at it is actually just to practice, just to approach girls. A lot of your problems will actually just be fixed if you approach more girls. If you approach more girls, speak to more people,
just be more sociable. That's it, man.
A lot of the problems will fix themselves. So
we've taught so many fucking guys over the last few years as a combination. And the guys that actually listen to what we said, which is just go out and every week, be as sociable as you can. Every day wake up and go, right, I'm going to be as sociable as I can. And then every week speak to at least 20 new women you don't know, you find attractive. They're living boss dating lives, right? And there's probably about 5 guys who have actually done that, like the burger chain. And then we never hear from them again. And the only reason we're actually employed, we have a job, is because people love overcomplicating their lives and justifying why. They love watching the next video, the next tip from Tusk and Les. It's like, no, just forget all this nonsense and go and speak to 20 new women a week, every fucking week, and you won't have any issues.
Yeah, well, I think there's a big difference between thinking about obtaining something and the actions that are actually needed to obtain that.
Right.
A lot of the time, the actions that are needed to obtain that are a little bit boring, uncomfortable, take time, they take effort. But if you just do them on a consistent basis for a couple months, you'll get to where you want to get to with this stuff.
It's also fun pushing your comfort zone. Like as men, we need to live on the edge, and a minor way of doing that, and then on a daily basis, go and speak to people when you're not comfortable, you don't know what the outcome, right? You're not comfortable. Most of the guys, included us, we come from an introverted, social anxious background. So that never really goes well in the sense that every day you wake up and you're always going to be kind of in that state. And it's always a bit of an arse to go and speak to that new person, right? But the most uncomfortable thing to do is always the right thing to do in life.
For sure. Running
Apart from
towards your fear.
Unless it's making out with your grandmother. Oh God, that laugh suggests you've had instances such as that.
We'll call it there.
Gents, wake up call. No one is coming to save you.
Love the package. It's something that I really needed because I'm a nice guy by nature. Lots of skills to help embrace your dark gentleman side.
Your life is 100% your responsibility and everything in it. Your second life begins when you realise you only have one life. 4,000 weeks, the average lifespan. 20 to 45 years old, your window for dating to complete your only actual imperative for being alive. You're born, you reproduce, and you die.
Where?
Nice to meet you. Switzerland.
Switzerland.
The dating market is both the easiest to conquer and the hardest to conquer it's ever been. We live in an instant gratification society, fast dopamine, cheap clicks, porn addiction. Many men, many sheeple fall into this trap and they're out of the market. Those that are willing to take on the mantle of leveling themselves up and attaining whatever they want dating-wise are in an amazing position, because to be considered alpha in 2025 is walk up to a girl in the daytime, in a cafe or on the street, give her a compliment, tell her she looks nice and start a conversation. The bar for alpha is so low. Masculinity is at an all-time low. But if you're willing to recognize that and use those predatory instincts rather than sitting as prey, the world is your proverbial oyster. Join us in Latin America and let's make this shit happen.
It's a life-changing experience and something you won't forget, so come on down.
Book a call on the link below so we can help you map out exactly what you want in your dating life, the strategy, the vision, and we can help you get from A to B as quickly as possible, depending on what you want. That's the key thing. We've been doing this for 10 years. We've worked with thousands of dudes. We can save you your most valuable assets, which are your time, your attention, and your money, and get you from A to B as fast as possible. So book a free call, a free dating strategy consultation with us below.